left-wing gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse.
What will happen to trans rights if Donald Trump wins the presidential election? The former president's re-election website features a section called Agenda 47. Trump makes clear his plans for trans rights.
On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care.
I'm black, so I can talk about black issues. I'm gay and married to a dude, so I can talk about gay issues. I'm 100% independent, so I can say whatever I want to say, and this video is not sponsored. I say all of this because to some people, those things matter, and when it comes to the 2024 election, quite frankly, I'm concerned with the amount of pandering and lies that's taken place, especially regarding the communities that I'm a part of. In this video, I'm going to give my reasons as to why Kamala Harris will not be receiving my vote. I'm going to make this as simple and effective as possible. 3 reasons from a gay perspective, 3 reasons from a black perspective. Let's go. Gay perspective. My sexuality does not define my worldview. Why should what I do in private automatically define my worldview, politics, habits, and culture? I may be gay, but I'm a mere first. I'm an individual with my own mind and my own thoughts. The only label that can really label me is my birth certificate that reads name Amir Odom. My name defines me, and I'm a combination of all of my habits, all of the things that I enjoy, the music, the food, everything I like. That is what defines me, not just one specific thing that I'm a part of. It's like, just because I'm gay, I'm not allowed to vote Republican. Well, why? Just because there's a fringe amount of Republicans that don't think I should be able to get married and don't think I should adopt kids? Yeah, for sure. I definitely highly disagree with them, but I also highly disagree with the Democrats too on a lot of different things. For example, the Democrats and the leftist gays who thinks minors should have the right to receive life-altering, life-changing trans surgeries. So now what? I disagree with both sides on various different things. And while I openly disagree with both the left and the right on various issues regarding gay topics, I for sure disagree more with the side that says, yes, you can't consent to have sex because you're too young to make these kinds of decisions, but you can consent to change your sex for life. Make it make sense. It's all wrong to me. At that, I'm being told time and time again that Donald Trump is very homophobic and bigoted. The whole time he's having gay weddings at his house. Like, these are quite literally my friends John and Dan who had a gay wedding at Trump's house, yet he's extremely homophobic and bigoted. It doesn't line up for me. I disagree more with Democrats than Republicans when it comes to LGBTQ issues. Like mentioned briefly before, there are for sure things that I disagree with the Republicans on and the things that they advocate for regarding gay issues, but regarding what the Democrats push for, regarding what the Democrats are doing, I actively disagree with them way more. Here's some quick examples regarding this stack of books that I have here. What we have here is a list of the banned books that Republicans are trying to get rid of in schools that makes them very bigoted and homophobic, and they're trying to censor speech, when in reality, these books I can't even talk about because it's demonetized on YouTube because it's not brand safe, because it's very inappropriate for children.
He's undoing my belt. I'm reaching into his bedside drawer for a condom.
A good handy is all about the wrist action. Rub the head of his back and forth with your hand.
After a bit, a person's becomes moist and slippery.
It's disgusting. It really is. It has no reason being accessible by 6th graders, 5th graders. Not to mention that Democrats are fighting for the rights for minors to receive medical care regarding being trans.
You got your mastectomy at 13.
A secret summer camp for transgender kids and their families.
Side effects were severe, are permanent, and started within days.
I genuinely don't agree with that. Do I think that there are kids out there who are suffering from gender dysphoria? For sure. But I also understand that there's a growing amount of trans people detransitioning who are suffering a lifelong, for life, they're dealing with side effects from transitioning. Whole time, they feel like it was a mistake because they did it too young as a minor, because they didn't really know how they really felt about their own lives.
The problem with me starting it so young was not only that I couldn't consent, I couldn't really fathom the full picture of things. I'm still experiencing a wide range of complications to this day.
Like, I have no issue with trans people. I think when you're an adult, you can do whatever you want. It's perfectly fine with me. I was with my trans girls the other weekend, and Blair White and Gwyneth McMullen. Like, I'm totally fine with trans people existing and doing whatever they want as a legal adult. It's just, to me, when it comes to children, we should let children be children. I don't think it's acceptable to say, yes, you 13, 14-year-old child, you can't smoke, you can't drink, you can't vote, you can't get a tattoo, you can't consent to sex, but yes, You can consent to change your sex for life. You can consent to get top surgery. You can consent to alter your voice. You can consent to stop puberty. It's just unacceptable to me, and it's actively happening right now. And this does not make me a hateful person, or anybody who has these thoughts a hateful person, when in reality, they're just caring for children. When it comes to the Democrats and the left really fighting for drag queens and allowing them to read to children and having drag parties and performing in front of children, I'm not homophobic or bigoted for thinking that that is inappropriate and wrong. And neither are you, whoever's watching this and feels the same way. The footage is here. It's actually happening. It is a thing where you have drag queens dancing, twerking, doing splits, and frolicking in front of 5 and 6-year-olds. It's not okay. And then I'm hearing, well, Republicans are calling the gays and the drag queens the groomers and just for wanting this. Okay, well, it doesn't take much to do a simple Google search and realize that there are a plethora of cases where you have a grown man in a wig frolicking around as a drag queen to perform in front of children, have them sit on their laps and read to them. The whole time they're a convicted predator. I just think if we left adult performers to perform only in adult spaces, we would be fine. So let's be real here. Where can you go to find a drag queen? You go to the gay club where you show your ID that you're of age, and then you go in and you watch them frolic, strip, dance, and you throw ones at them. That's just what it is. And then I've seen all the comparisons of like, okay, well, Mrs. Doubtfire is fine. You can't compare Mrs. Doubtfire, a professionally rated PG-13 movie, with a drag queen that isn't rated at all, that's dipping, bouncing, and twerking in front of 5 and 6-year-olds. It's not an equal comparison, and it doesn't make sense. I care about women's rights. And this sounds like a silly thing to say, especially the party screaming, yes, we're gonna elect the first female president. You think they actually care about women, but in my opinion, I don't think that they do. Because if you ask any of these people, what does it mean to be a woman? You know, when you're saying we're electing our first female president, what does it mean to be a female? What does it mean to be a woman? They can't define it.
What's a woman?
I don't think there's an easy definition for what a woman is. As long as she's identifying as a woman.
A woman is anyone who identifies themselves as a woman.
A woman is someone that identifies as a woman.
It's who you identify as.
If you identify as a woman and you feel that like in your soul and in your mind you're a woman, then that makes you a woman.
They can't define it and they can't give you an answer. So how are you going to say, I respect women, I'm fighting for women, but you don't even know what that means or what that stands for? This is the same group saying trans women are women, trans men are men. It's the same group saying there is no difference between a man who puts on makeup and a wig and says he's a woman versus someone that's going through fertility issues, someone that's getting breast cancer, someone that has menstrual cycles, like all these different things. They're saying that they're the same. It's okay. A woman is a woman is somebody who identifies as a woman, and that's it. Like, I'm sorry, I respect women enough to not erase them. Women have fought so hard day in and day out to receive their benefits, to receive their rights, to be seen as equal to men in society. So much so that they're doing just that and are taking over and replacing them right before all of our eyes. Because again, if you're arguing that men can be women and women can be men, then that makes us all equal. And if that makes us equal, then why not just get rid of female bathrooms? Why not, or in locker rooms? Why not just have men and women put all together? It's fine, it's okay. Why have women's sports leagues? Why not just have sports league? Why not just have basketball? Why not just have wrestling? Why not just have football? Like, why not just put everything together, since there's no difference at all? Like, for example, Kamala Harris is in support of gender identity equality, which means, you know, we have to go back to, it's not like how it used to be where it takes effort to be trans. Anybody can be trans nowadays. In 2024, anybody can say that they're the opposite sex and it's okay. You don't need the hormones, you don't need the pills, you don't need the surgeries, you don't need anything. You can just say you're a woman and that is okay. So that's our baseline now, which is way different than what it was 10 years ago. Under gender identity equality, you can have a group of 18-year-old guys in college just say, oh, I'm identifying as a woman, I deserve to be roomed with a female because I am a female too, and then boom, they're roomed together. Is that what you really want? Do you think that that's okay? Because remind you, you're not hateful for thinking that it's not. That actually is insane. It is insane that we are fighting for equality so much that we're forgetting about what makes us different and unique in the first place. None of this is hateful. It's literally just that none of this makes sense. I mean, we quite literally have women getting pregnant in jail because they were housed with trans women in jail. How are we just saying that this is okay? When it comes to the modern day LGBTQ community in 2024, as a gay man myself, I am not aligned with this community. I have nothing to do with this community, and I want no part part of it. And there's a lot of other gay people who feel the same way. The modern day LGBTQ community does not respect me. It does not speak for me. We don't have the same values. And I don't like anything that they're pushing. Black perspective. Now, have Democrats and Republicans both helped the Black community in some way, shape, or form? For sure. I'm not going to say they haven't done anything at all, but when you look at the Black communities, when you look at these Black cities that are crippling, that are crumbling right before our very eyes, that have just been in decline, and could decline, it's not like Republicans have been in control of them. Chicago, Democrats since 1931. St. Louis, Democrats since 1949. Atlanta, Democrats since 1879. Detroit, Democrats since 1962. Baltimore, Democrats since 1967. And under all that Democrat control, what do our communities have to show for it? Black kids can't read. Black kids can't do math. Black kids account for majority of the crimes in malls and theme parks. Black kids account for majority of the looting of luxury stores. Takeoff, P&B Rock, Young Dolph, King Von, Pop Smoke, Nipsey Hussle, Excitation, all shot dead by other Black people. Walmart, Target, and Walgreens shutting down majority of their stores in predominantly Black neighborhoods due to the rise of theft. And yet consistently I'm being told that white people are the problem. That Republicans are the problem. That Trump is the problem. No, we are our own problem. And I'm tired of putting the blame on everyone else but ourselves. And that doesn't make me a self-hating Black man. That doesn't make me a coon or Uncle Tom. I'm looking at the data. I'm looking at our neighborhoods. I'm looking at what's going on. How and why are we blaming everyone else for the issues that's going on right now today? Skin color does not matter to me. My melanin does not define my mindset. Why should someone's skin color push me or motivate me to vote for them? Sure, it may be cool to have a Black female president, but what are the values that they have? What are they pushing and advocating for that you really do like? Besides, it's funny that if a white man says, oh, I'm only voting for the white man because we need a white man as president, we would call him racist. But on the flip side, because someone says, oh, we're voting for the Black woman, we need a Black woman as president, that's just seen as okay, it doesn't make sense to me. If Donald Trump put out a statement that said, if elected, I'm giving white men and white men only this laundry list of benefits, and it's only for them, no Blacks allowed, there would be endless amounts of uproar about bigotry and racist and systemic racism and Klansmen, the whole nine. But that's exactly what Kamala's doing. She's doing exactly that. For Black men and Black men only, you get the grants, you get the weed, you get the health care, you get all these things. That seems pretty racist to me. From what I can tell, Trump cares about Americans as a whole, and he cares about the different communities and races, but he includes other people, you know. He focuses on low-income areas, and that includes the low-income whites, the Hispanics, the Asians, the Blacks. You know, he's focused on all these things. Meanwhile, Kamala is pitting all these races together and giving out different benefits based on whose skin color is what. Like, that's crazy to me. And then when you ask people, okay, you know, they're telling me, yes, you're voting for a racist man, Donald Trump is racist, and you ask them how, I'm being told things that have been debunked or being told things that Black and Hispanic people actually advocate for and respect about them. Hell, the founder of BET, Black Entertainment Television, even spoke highly of Trump.
I came away from that meeting understanding that President Trump is committed to reaching out to African Americans. And in the course of my conversation with them, we talked about a number of issues, if implemented by President Trump and his administration, will demonstrate that African Americans have something to gain by establishing a common ground with President-elect Trump and his administration.
There's plenty of Hispanic people who want to build a border wall, who want to protect our nation's border, but also actually do proper reform on legal immigration. That doesn't make them racist or bigoted or hateful. That just makes them someone who wants to protect our nation.
The chief estimates about 85% of his Hispanic majority town supports a border wall.
We need the wall. I'm sorry, but we need it.
What would you hope the wall would do?
Prevent this. This is one of the hardest when you have loss of life, because some people say our wall is racist. Well, let me ask him, your house has walls. Is it racist?
Like, what do you think Israel and Ukraine is doing with the billions of dollars of our taxpayer money that we've given them? We're giving them all this money for them to protect their borders. But a lot of the times with guns, but for the United States, you know, I'm seeing people that are advocating for, you know, being against guns and advocating against the wall and just let everybody in. Meanwhile, we're also pushing for the protection of other people's borders, but not ours. Like, there's plenty of black people, whether it be in Chicago or New York, who are voicing their concerns and are upset with the rise of migrants in their neighborhoods that have come through the border and have been planted there in these cities.
When do citizens of the United States of America come first?
On the southwest side, city officials getting an earful.
How about this? Give them all these politicians' addresses and put them in their backyards, in their basements, in their houses.
And they're upset that they're taking the local jobs, aka the black jobs. That's all that meant. So I don't know, you guys. It's just when you really look into these things and you stop allowing yourself to be led by the headlines and the Twitter threads and this, that, and that, and looking into it for yourself, a lot gets discovered. And it's sad that, you know, it's come to this point in this election where there's so much misinformation, there's so much lies and pettiness on display that it's this hard to just get the truth for what it is. I'm driven by action and not fear. I've heard more from Kamala on what we should fear by having Trump as president than what she's actually going to do as president, which again, she's already in office. It'd be one thing if this is a whole new Democrat versus Trump and, you know, y'all are wanting someone new. I can get behind that. But this lady is 10 steps away from the Oval Office every morning. This lady has been a part of every major decision that Joe Biden has put in place since he was inaugurated back in 2021.
And I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
At that, no one voted for her. She was put into place, which is the furthest thing from democracy, but I digress. I keep hearing about why I have to fear this Project 2025, which one, off the bat, Donald Trump has already stated that he has nothing to do with. He knows some people that have put it together, but so does Kamala. And two, there's black authors in there and Hispanic authors as well. So it's like, I get it, there are a lot of bad things in Project 2025, and I do disagree with, but Donald Trump has already put out his own policies, so it's not fair to me to relate him to that and say Project 2025 is Trump's when he keeps saying it's not.
Like some on the right, severe right, came up with this Project 25, and I don't even know. I mean, some of them I know who they are, but they're very, very conservative, just like you have. They're sort of the opposite of the radical left, okay? You have the radical left and you have the radical right, and they come up with this, I don't know what the hell it is, it's Project 25. He's involved in Project. And then they read some of the things, and they are extreme. I mean, they're seriously extreme. But I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it.
So instead of me fearing this hypothetical thing that's already been said and told that's not going to happen, I'm actively upset and fearing what's happening now and what has happened. There are a plethora of things that Kamala openly defends and advocates for in this current moment. So instead of me fearing this ideological, oh, Trump's gonna do this or he might do this, when we already had him as president for 4 years, I'm actively upset with what Kamala is doing and pushes for in this very moment. Again, I'm led by action and not fear. You know, Kamala claims that no one's having abortions at 9 months. Meanwhile, her VP, Tim Walz, has made it effectively possible for women to get an abortion that late in his own state.
I want to clarify what the law is there in Minnesota. Abortion Finder, a website that helps women find access, says abortion is legal throughout pregnancy in Minnesota. There is no ban or limit on abortion in Minnesota based on how far along in a pregnancy you are. You signed the bill that makes it legal through all 9 months. Is that a position you think Democrats should advocate for nationally?
Look, the vice president and I have been clear. The restoration of Roe versus Wade is what we're asking for.
And on the topic of abortion, I have another video outlining all the things, the lies about Trump, but Trump is in favor of abortion. He thinks that there actually should be more weeks given and more time given for women to get an abortion.
Well, I think the 6 week is too short. It has to be more time, and so and I've told them that I want more weeks.
So you'll vote in favor of the amendment?
I am going to be voting that we need more than 6 weeks.
Melania Trump, his wife, is pro-choice.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
Trump's already said he's not going to do a federal ban on abortion.
Wouldn't support a national ban.
No, I wouldn't support a national ban. No, I would not.
You know, he is definitely fine with abortion regarding rape and incest.
But I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I think it's very important.
So it's like, just look into the things that Trump is saying instead of being told the things that he says. You know, like, go directly to the source. And I have no reason to talk on my told you this before. There's no motive for me. I mean, literally, I'm just getting these things from the internet and what the people are actually saying. Just stop allowing yourself to be told these things and look into it for yourself. It's like, I can't say this enough. Instead of fearing what could happen, I'm actively fearing what is happening now. I'm led by action and not fear. I'm not gonna be fearful of what could happen when these coulds have already been told that it's not going to happen. I don't like what's going on now. What things the last 3 to 4 years have gone on that you're just so overjoyed with that you want to keep it going? Please, I want to know. That's it. I'm done allowing my identity to define my entire worldview. I'm done letting me being black control how I view the world and who I vote for. I'm done letting me being gay define how I view the world and who I vote for. I'm completely done in this nation trying to tell me as a black and gay guy how to feel at all times of the day and how bad things are.
I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
No, I wouldn't support a national ban.
Protect our LGBTQ citizens.
You're being lied to. This isn't even about supporting Trump. This is merely just calling out the lies that are bluntly told in front of our faces. I urge you all to think for yourself and look up the news for yourself. I don't care if you vote for Trump or Kamala, as long as you know why you are voting for them. We're going to be debunking the most common lies that are told about Donald Trump, because instead of the media telling you the lies that Donald Trump is making, the media is making the lies about Donald Trump. And again, this isn't to say that he's never lied before, but it just goes back to how the media is coming up with lies about him instead of just telling the people what he's actually saying and giving the proper context. So if you like this kind of content, commentary, reaction, and you like getting to the truth of the matter, be sure to subscribe. It helps the channel grow a ton. Without further ado, let's dive right into this. Find people on both sides.
Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches, spewing anti-Semitic hate. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side.
This is something that they didn't fact check, despite fact checking Trump, which I'm all for. If you're gonna fact check, that's fine. I'm all for the truth, but at least be consistent. Because according to a common fact checking site, Snopes, no, Trump did not call neo-Nazis and white supremacists very fine people. That's the actual truth. Joe Biden, Kamala, everybody keeps regurgitating this one headline. He said there are fine people on both sides. There is far more context to what he said. His sentence was cut off and the truth was just never out there. So for those of you who have never seen the actual footage, let's hear what he actually said.
Changing history, you're changing culture, and you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis or the white supremacists, white nationalists. They should be condemned completely. That is what he said in that same clip. But like, if I let it keep playing.
But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly. Now, in the other group also, you had some fine people, but you also had troublemakers, and you see them come with the black outfits and with the helmets and with the baseball bats.
He called it out for what it is. He said there were very bad people on the right that need to be condemned. The white nationalists and the Klansmen, all them people, he said that's stupid, that needs to be condemned. And he also said the Antifa and the people dressed in all black, they need to be condemned too. There were fine people on the right side that just wanted to maintain our nation's history and have these statues, and it's whatever. There were fine people on the left who said, I want this statue down, it's hurtful to my ancestors. Regardless, there were fine people on both sides, but it's clear with the full context. Trump never said that the Klansmen and the white nationalists were very fine people. He said they should be condemned. That's the actual truth. Speaking of racism in Charlottesville, let's get right into he's racist against black people.
What are you looking for? What kind of a position? Come up here. Come here. You look so smart and good. Do you mind if I do a job interview right now? We need good people. How are you? So what's your experience in front of the world?
Well, I design, I do wreaths, I do all types of decorations.
And you like this building?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. There's the man. Stand right over here. If we can make a good deal on the salary, she's going to probably have a job, okay? All right, good. Have a good time. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Good. So nice.
The NAACP released a poll on Friday that showed while Black Americans overwhelmingly identify as Democrats, over 1/4 of Black men under 50 said they would support the Republican candidate in this year's election.
Let's just go through some of the things that he has said about Black people.
Let's talk about George Floyd. You said George Floyd's death was a terrible thing.
Terrible.
Why are African Americans still dying at the hands of law enforcement in this country?
And so are white people. So are white people. What a terrible question to ask. So are white people. More white people, by the way.
That's not racist, that's an actual fact. The way that question was framed was actually very wrong, very misleading, and it was meant to like trap him or make him look bad when in reality, every race in this nation deals with police brutality, which by the way is at a very, very low amount compared to the regular smuggler criminals out there. Are cops supposed to be protecting us? Yes, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like every cop is bad and wrong. And I'm also not gonna act like we're gonna get rid of bad cops entirely. Bad cops are out there, it sucks, but to sit here and act like my life is in danger at the hands of white police when there are more people who get struck by lightning and die than Black unarmed men get shot by the police, miss me with it. It's so misleading. It really is. And what Trump said was true. That is a horrible question to ask. White people are harmed too. Let's keep it real. All Trump has done is keep it real. Let's go to the next clip.
Why do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. What the hell do you have to lose?
Like when we look in our inner cities, St. Louis, Chicago, Detroit, Atlanta, the list can go on, and it's ran by all Democrats for years, and we keep complaining about our hoods and our neighborhoods and everything falling apart. What do we have to lose by trying something new? That's all he was saying. I don't see the problem. What racist invites over 200 Black people to hang out with him at his house? Because again, I was there. I told you, I've been about this. I've been there multiple times. I've dapped up with Trump. I've never gotten a racist and bigoted vibe. People kept telling me that he was so racist and so bigoted. So what did I do? I went to the man's house to go and meet him. I got invited to some events. I met him, didn't get a racist bone in my body. Like, honestly, it was actually a funny speech. That seems like a really bad racist to me. What racist pours money into Black communities?
President Trump unveiling opportunity zones, a new policy he says will build up communities in need by giving investors tax breaks to invest in low-income areas.
What racist works with Kim Kardashian to get Black people out of jail?
It really is such an honor to be here today, so thank you. My whole journey with criminal justice reform.
What racist meets with the founder of BET, Black Entertainment Television, to discuss racism and ways to be a better person and ally to the Black community?
I came away from that meeting understanding that President Trump is committed to reaching out to African Americans. And in the course of my conversation with them, we talked about a number of issues, if implemented by President Trump and his administration, will demonstrate that African Americans have something to gain by establishing a common ground with President-elect Trump and his administration.
Actions speak louder than words. And all these actions that Trump is doing for the Black community, I don't understand how people keep pinning him as a racist when he actually is the worst racist out there. Project 2025.
We're going to hear tonight is a detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president intends on implementing if he were elected again.
Let's hear. I keep hearing about Project 2025 from everyone on the left and all these Democrats. They keep talking about this is Trump's plan, Trump's plan, Trump's plan. What does Trump have to say about it? Because the only time I've ever heard Trump speak about Project 2025 is when he's saying things like this.
Like some on the right, severe right, came up with this Project 25, and I don't even know. I mean, some of them I know who they are, but they're very, very conservative, just like you have. They're sort of the opposite of the radical left, okay? You have the radical left and you have the radical right, and they come up with this, I don't know what the hell it is, it's Project 25. He's involved in Project, and then they read some of the things, and they are extreme. I mean, they're seriously extreme. But I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it. But what they do is misinformation and disinformation, and they keep saying, he's a threat to democracy. I'm saying, what the hell did I do for democracy? Last week, I took a bullet for democracy.
Like, let's be real. Again, I keep saying let's be real because no one's being real. Like, he's saying he doesn't know about it. He's saying he knows some people who put it together. He knows and admits that it's very far right, the same way there's a far left. And that's that. It's not fair to pin him to something that he says he has nothing to do with. It doesn't matter if he knows some of the people who wrote it, so does Scamala. He incited violence on January 6th.
President of the United States incited a violent mob to attack our nation's capital.
What did Trump actually say? Again, we keep being told what he said. We keep being told he incited violence. What did Trump actually say on Jan 6th at that rally? Let's listen.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Peacefully and patriotically marched down to the Capitol. The crazy people on Jan 6th, that is not patriotic. That is delusional, and that is insane, and that is crazy. He encouraged people to walk peacefully and patriotically. And you know what's crazy about that whole thing and that the whole setup where he's speaking in DC and then everybody goes and walks to the Capitol? I was there, not Jan 6 exactly, but an event just like this 2 months prior at the White House. Here's my invite. I told y'all I'm gonna be talking on my Dear Amir Odom, please see your invitation to remarks by the president to be held at the White House on Saturday, October 10th, 2020. It was a rinse and repeat event. When I heard that he told people, when everyone was like harping about Trump told everybody to like go to the Capitol, he always does that. He did that at the event that I was at. We all walked to the Capitol and then dispersed and went back to the hotels or went out to eat or went to the club. Except for Jan 6, you had the crazy people acting a fool. We still have more to go through, but it's very clear that the media is very elusive when it comes to telling the truth. Even when Trump got shot, you think the media in big tech would just be very clear about what happened and let everything come up and be shown, but no, we've seen that that's not the case. Google and Facebook accused of suppressing Trump attempted assassination. Let's dive right into this article. Total sources, 85, 12 leaning left, 33 leaning right, 14 on the center. So what has the center said about this? Google faced accusations of suppressing information about Donald Trump's July 13th assassination attempt by failing to show relevant search results. What did the left say about this? Google Meta debunks claims they were hiding details about Trump assassination. Sometimes the real explanation isn't political bias, but faulty products. Now we know these people can pull levers and pick and choose what to highlight. We've seen it be done. We just saw that viral video asking Alexa about why they should vote for Kamala, and then they give a list of reasons. Then you say, give me a list of reasons why I should vote for Trump, and Alexa's silent.
Alexa, why should I vote for Trump?
I cannot provide responses that endorse any political party or its leader.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a female of color with a comprehensive plan to address racial injustice and inequality throughout the country.
We know, and we've seen it for years now, this constant bias. What is the... He's going to take away abortion rights.
He and his allies would limit access to birth control, ban medication abortion, and enact a nationwide abortion ban with or without Congress.
Okay, let's see what Trump has said himself. What did he say?
You wouldn't support a national ban?
No, I wouldn't support a national ban. No, I would not.
He says he will not support a national ban on abortion. He said that multiple times. Let's see his stances on exceptions, because everyone's like he's going to ban it in totality. Let's see what he has to say about that.
But I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I think it's very important.
He said it plain and simple. For rape, incest, and life of the mother, he's also totally fine with abortion in that sense. He's going to take away IVF.
Taking away our freedom to control our bodies, the freedom to become a mother through IVF like I did.
Okay, Michelle Obama saying that Trump wants to get rid of IVF and he doesn't like IVF. Let's see what Trump actually thinks of IVF.
For mothers and families to have babies, not harder. That includes supporting the availability of fertility treatments like IVF in every state in America.
This video, I hope you're seeing, there's more to come, but I hope you're seeing right now that there's a lot of people at play just bluntly lying in our faces and getting away with it. Like, don't tell me how to think, don't lie to me about a person, just give me the truth, give me what they're saying. And it is evident with this video, you can barely trust the things that they're telling you. These videos are showing clear as day. There are a lot of left-leaning people who hate Trump just to hate Trump and are not giving credit where credit's due and acknowledging when he's actually being very modest. He's homophobic.
Pete Buttigieg. Don't you think it's just great to see the fact that you've got a guy there on the stage with his husband, and it's normal? It's not even.
I think it's absolutely fine. I do.
As your president, I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens from the violence and oppression of a hateful foreign ideology.
So far, I don't know how this is homophobic. Apparently we're going to get into it, but in practice, the Trump administration has pursued an anti-LGBTQ agenda. Let's hear what he's critiqued.
Department of Justice sent a memo to the Supreme Court. Title VII, which is a civil rights law protecting against discrimination on the basis of sex, does not extend to transgender workers.
Where are the gay people at? This has nothing to do with gay people. It goes back to the LGB versus the TQ+. I've talked about this in my other pieces of content. At the end of the day, like, I can't change the fact that I'm gay. I can't change the fact that I'm black, but I'm being told you can change your gender on the fly. Men can be women and women can be men. You know, I'm being told these things. So of course, like, if you can just switch it back, then boom. Like, you know what I mean? It's very dicey. So it makes sense why gender identity discrimination isn't really constituted as sexual discrimination. And especially when it comes to gay people, my friends just got married at Mar-a-Lago. Literally, Trump had a gay wedding at his house this year. He seems like a very horrible racist person and a very horrible homophobic person if he's always constantly surrounding himself with multiple different races and multiple different sexualities. Again, actions speak louder than words, and as a gay man in this country, I am unfazed by President Trump. He's racist against Mexicans.
You have been widely criticized, Donald, as you know, for offending immigrants in your announcement speech. I want to just play again exactly what you said in that speech. Here you are.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. And some, I assume, are good people.
Now, you've tried to clarify this statement in recent days, Donald, but I guess the question comes down to this. Do you regret saying that specifically about rapists, or do you stand by it?
No, not at all. Of course, it's not only Mexico. If you let that run a little bit longer, it talks about people coming from all over. They're coming from all over. They'll soon be coming, and probably already have, be coming from all over the world. You're probably going to have people, you're probably going to have terrorists coming from the Middle East. Somebody said, oh, we don't have terrorists. They don't even know, because they don't know who's coming.
You can watch my video. I did a video on the border wall. There are Chinese people, Russian people, and Indian people flying to South America and coming up through Mexico through the border because it's that easy to break through. When watching that clip, it is clear Trump is not talking about the Mexican race. They're all rapists and disgusting and whatever it may be. He wasn't talking about that. He's talking about the people that are sneaking through the border. And speaking of the border, let's see what they have to think about it.
More than 80 migrants with previous criminal convictions were caught trying to cross into the United States illegally in the El Paso sector. According to Border Patrol, a pair of migrants from El Salvador who had ties to gangs were wanted for homicide. Another migrant who was also wanted for murder was sent back to Mexico. CBP says that many of the migrants are aggravated felons, sex offenders, child predators, drug traffickers, and drunk drivers.
So where did Trump lie in his statement? Because it's apparent at the southern border, there are criminals coming through Mexico that are murderers and rapists and serial crime offenders. The list goes on. Exactly what Trump said. So instead of the media telling you that Trump says all Mexicans are rapists and they're all so bad, he's literally talking about what's actually happening at the border. And that video was so old, everything he said had just come true even more. It is an issue that we're dealing with at our southern border, but everyone keeps talking about race instead of focusing on what's actually going down. Y'all, We are being lied to about this man. He downplayed COVID. I want y'all to look at this real quick. Fact check. The World Health Organization did not say COVID can't transmit from person to person. I'm gonna repeat this, and it's on the screen. Fact check. The World Health Organization did not say COVID-19 can't transmit from person to person. Cool. So what did they say? Preliminary investigations conducted by the Chinese authorities have found no clear evidence of human-to-human transmission of the novel coronavirus 2019-nCoV identified in Wuhan, China. That is from the WHO. Listen, Trump downplayed COVID, Trump COVID this, Trump COVID. The people we were supposed to be listening to didn't get anything right at all either. No one's being real or consistent. You got Pelosi talking about come outside, come to Chinatown, everything's all fine and dandy.
You should come to Chinatown. Precautions have been taken by our city. We know that there is a concern about tourism traveling all throughout the world, but we think it's very safe to be in Chinatown and hope that others will come.
Just phony. And everybody was getting mad at him calling it the China virus. I'm sorry. Have you ever heard of the West Nile virus? Is that not a thing? Have you heard of the Spanish flu? We've always named flus and sicknesses from the country origin, not every single one, but it has been common. To pin that on Trump and the media keep calling him racist and a bigot for that, as if the West Nile virus and Spanish flu aren't a thing that we study in school. I'm telling y'all, you really need to think for yourselves. Do not be lied and misled about this damn man. Is he crazy sometimes? Yes. Has he lied sometimes? Yes. But these are the most this list, there's more. This is the prominent list of the top key things that he's always been lied to about, and it's all being debunked right now. And I'm not just talking out my hoo-ha, it's coming from Trump himself. They're lying about the things that he's saying, y'all. Trump told people to take ivermectin and horse dewormer. The truth is, ivermectin, which is not only a drug for horses, there is a human-grade ivermectin, has worked for the same amount of people in my life as the same amount of people who got the vaccine and then still got COVID. At that, there's such thing as Advil for horses. So now just because you take an Advil, you take a horse medicine? No, that's not how this works. Why crap on someone medically for doing something that's worked for them and that was prescribed to them by their doctor? The same people that's constantly saying Trump is lying, Trump's a bigot, Trump spreads misinformation is the same group of people that was misled and wrong about everything regarding 2020 and COVID.
Not just protecting themselves, but reducing their transmission to other people and allowing society to get back to normal?
We can kind of almost see the end. We're vaccinating so very fast. Our data from the CDC today suggests, that vaccinated people do not carry the virus, don't get sick.
Getting vaccinated and getting a booster shot when eligible can save your life and protect you and your family and friends from getting seriously ill and spreading infection.
What do you think the probability is? 80%?
Personally, I think it's 100%. I think that there's a reduction in transmission.
Right. COVID, if you have these vaccinations.
We have all the vaccines we need. We just need our people to take it. A, for their own protection, for the protection of their family, but also to break the chain of transmission. You want to be a dead end to the virus. So when the virus gets to you, you stop it. You don't allow it to use you as the stepping stone to the next person.
Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person. A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus does not infect them. The virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else.
Ooh, this pisses me off so much. Lied to our faces about this non-stop. They lied. They were wrong. Completely wrong. 110% wrong. And we're all trusting these same people to tell us the facts about Kamala versus Trump. You got me messed up. I really hope that this video has been helpful for you today and that you share this with all your friends and family who have ever questioned Trump, had doubts about Trump, on the fence about Trump, or just honestly, not just in general, even if they hate Trump. Everyone needs to see this video for the truth that's outlined in it. The most common and widespread lies about Trump for years. They've talked about all these things that we've just outlined that are not true. It all requires nuance. It all requires hearing the full things that he said. It requires the full story. At the end of the day, it's like, I just want the truth to be known. I really don't care who you vote for as long as you know why you're voting for them. I think everyone has the right to vote, and everyone should vote, but everyone should vote on their own morals and their own views. They should not be led by any Taylor Swift. Just because Taylor Swift endorses Kamala doesn't mean I need to go out and vote for Kamala because that's just the right thing to do because I love Taylor Swift. That's the opposite of what should be happening. You should be voting based off of your views and the views that you hold foundationally, not the views that your friend group holds, not the views of your family, not the views of your favorite influencer, the views of you, and understanding why you feel the way you feel and understanding the power that you have to vote in this nation and allow your opinion to be heard. But keyword, your opinion. And you don't have an opinion if you are a copy paste clone of everybody else out there. You do not have an opinion if you are just copying and pasting what Twitter says, what CNN says, what your friend says, what this famous person says. Let it come from you.
We should be thinking.
You know, I'm constantly being told that Trump hates gay people and that he's homophobic. But if that's the case, why is there a growing segment of gay people who actually like him and are going to support him in this 2024 election?
For the past 4 years, I have been harassed and bullied by the liberals and the Democrat Party. Simply because I'm a gay person that's voting for Trump. Now, I'm tired of them pushing this whole inclusivity bullshit when it's not true. You do not support everybody. You do not care about everybody. In fact, you only care about your party. The second someone like me or someone else has a different belief than you decide to attack them, degrade them, and bully them and try to silence them because you can't accept the fact that in America, people are allowed to support whoever they want to support.
Facts. That happened to me back in 2018 after I went to the White House with Trump. I posted on Twitter, wow, what a crazy life it's been. Front row at Beyonce, and I'm on Donald Trump's Instagram. What is my life? Boom. 40,000 tweets later, hard R, F slur, you're stupid, you're a bigot. And I'm sitting here like, I thought this was a party of love and inclusivity and understanding and equality. Like just hearing people out being loving. But I wasn't getting that from the left at all.
For the past 4 years, I have been harassed, I have been bullied, people have shown up to my house, harassed my family in real life, literally degraded every single thing that I have ever done on the internet, simply because I stand up for my country and I speak the truth. But Democrats, I want to be very, very frank with you. No matter how much hate you give me, no matter how much delusion you live in, I am still voting for Donald Trump. No matter how much it makes you mad, no matter how many more comments you comment on my page, nothing is going to change that. Why do you people think it's okay to bully and harass someone? And then it's funny though. So when I ask you why you're voting for Kamala, you have no reason. For the past month and a half, I have strictly asked every time I went live, asked people in the chat, why are you voting for Kamala? What policies of Kamala do you support? But guess what? Not one person can answer my question.
That's typically how it goes. But I am going to post a video. I'm working on it now. Understanding why some people are wanting to vote for Kamala Harris. And that's going to be an interesting one to film. Because I really do want to understand myself why so many people want to support her. Because for one, like, if you're going to complain about how bad things have gotten, you have to realize she's currently in power now and has been. So how are you talking about you want something to change, but you're voting for the same person that's going to keep things going how they're going? It doesn't make sense to me. And how are you going to judge someone? You know what's crazy? Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like the right in the center is open to be whoever they want to be. Like you're well, for the most part. I'm going to say the far right, but for the most part, in terms of freedom and, you know, as long as you're like a law-abiding citizen, you can do what you want to do. But when it comes to the left, if you don't fit in this ideological box of like what a black person is, what a gay person is, etc., you get kicked out the club. They're so big on identity politics that like you have to stay within the bounds of what that label consists of. And if you don't, you get called every name in the book. If you are in the gay community, but you're not really like on the left, or you're very critical of Democrats, then you are self-loathing. You are suffering from internalized homophobia, internalized racism. The list can go on just because you have a different opinion, which you would think the party screaming equality, love, inclusivity would be open to hearing new ideas, but they're not. They're extremely hate. The most hate I have received in all my years of being online has been from the left, and that's very sad. And it's been from the very people, the very community that supposedly has my back, the gays and the blacks. They're all for inclusivity and equality if you think like them, because the second you think for yourself, the second you have a differing opinion, boom, they kick you out the club. And it's not fair and it's not right, and it shouldn't be accepted. This shouldn't be the standard of what is going on in our current country.
Why? Why are you so mean? Why are you voting for a woman that's done nothing in her career, nothing as vice president? Oh, I know, because she's a woman. And if you believe because she's a woman that she should be president, you should not be voting. Because voting is not about your feelings. Voting is about voting for a president that's going to represent the entirety of the entire population of the United States of America. Scamala has been in the office for almost 4 years and has done absolutely nothing that has benefited you, me, or anyone else in this country or even the world.
For the rest of your lives, there will be before you choose, and there will be.
To sit here and to feed off of that point, to sit here and say, I'm going to vote for Kamala because she's a woman. I'm going to vote for Kamala because she's black. Imagine if it was flipped. Okay, I'm only voting for Trump because he's a white man. You would say that I'm racist. But because you're saying I'm only voting for her because she's a black woman, it's okay, and it's to further inclusivity, it's to further equality. That doesn't make sense to me. What happened to judging someone by the content of the character, not the color of their skin? Now you want me to default to what she has, and if I ask you what a woman is, you're not going to tell me what a woman is because you can't define what a woman is. So you keep harping on, yes, we have to support black women. You can't even tell me what a woman is, and the fact that you want me to support somebody just because of the color of their skin is racist in itself. And it's self-evident as we get through this video, there's a lot of gay people who see through that BS. There's a lot of gay people who feel like, no, just because I'm gay does not mean I have to align myself with the Democrats. Does that mean not even just Democrats? Because here's the deal, my issue with Kamala, she's already in office. If it was a different Democrat, like if it was someone else running against Trump, I'd have more grace for someone that is trying to vote on the Democrat side. You know, that'd be a real debate. That'd be a real, fair battle. But the fact that you're arguing for someone who's currently in office, who has a clear track record of just being horrible, it's hard to sit here and defend that. It doesn't make sense to a lot of people, and you're not wrong for not wanting that. Just because you're not voting for Kamala, just because you're not aligning yourself to the left in 2024 doesn't mean you can't do that in other elections. Because it doesn't have to be sports team politics. You can just vote on someone based off your values. And right now, my values are aligning more with the right than the left, because at least with the right, I know exactly how they feel. I know exactly the things that they stand for. Are there some fringe right that don't like gay people? Yeah, that exists, but it's also clear that there's a big chunk of the left that doesn't like gay people too. A big chunk of the left that doesn't like black people if you don't fit in their ideological box. So either way, you're screwed. So you might as well just do what you want to do and feel how you want to feel. I'd rather deal with the right and deal with some of the crazy that don't like me than to deal with the left who wants to be fake and says, yes, we do like you, we do support you because you're black, yes queen, but then sit here and not even understand or can logically reason with themselves the things that they argue for.
So because I'm gay, I can't vote for Republicans because that's voting against my own rights. Because Republicans are so against gay rights, right? Remember that time when Trump won in 2016 and Republicans had control of the presidency, the Senate, and the House? And remember how they didn't do anything to gay rights?
And to be fair, he did pass some things that were not for the LGBTQ community, but to be more specific, he did things that were not for the TQ plus community. During his presidency, as far as I can tell and what I've looked into, the lesbian, the gays, and the bis, he left them alone. When it comes to the TQ plus, there was a lot more done than that.
And you might recall that we currently have a conservative majority on the Supreme Court. Apparently, the most conservative Supreme Court in 90 years. But weirdly, my gay rights are still intact. Strange how Republicans have had every opportunity to go after gay rights, and they have taken none of them. Maybe, just maybe, Republicans aren't actually after gay rights after all. Maybe you've just been brainwashed by propaganda. Because I think if Trump and the conservatives really wanted to end gay rights that badly, they probably would have done something about that by now. But instead, they've been busy launching global efforts to decriminalize homosexuality.
Which is true. They actually did do that. They actually did try to decriminalize. That was an effort that Trump really put into place. But at the same time, to play devil's advocate, we are seeing a rising rate of people not agreeing with and not liking the LGBTQ community. A lot of that in due part to the children and the trans community. Let's be real here. When regarding the LGBTQ community, when we're looking at the TQ+, which, again, subscribe. There's another video coming out about that, the LGB versus TQ+. Gay relations were on an uptick and where things were fine, and it's the TQ+ that's been dragging the gay community down. So there is a rise happening of more people not liking the gays, but I understand why, because half the time all the gays that I come across and the gay people on this channel, they're getting tired of the gays too. Let's just keep it real here.
Why do gay men get bullied when we express a difference of opinion from what the mainstream thinks we should be thinking? Like, when a gay man supports Trump, it's a huge problem, but Trump was the first president to enter office supporting gay marriage openly. No one else did that.
Which is something else that's weird too. It's like Trump was the first person to come into office accepting gay marriage as it is, when there's a track record of every other Democrat from Hillary to Obama to Biden who all said that marriage is between a man and a woman and that's it.
Marriage is between a man and a woman. Marriage is between a man and a woman.
Marriage is not just a bond, but a sacred bond between a man and a woman.
Trump was the first president to come in office saying, actually, like, men and men can get married. That's fine.
I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens.
Personally, I'd rather the government be out of marriage completely, but that's another topic. But to this guy's point, it's a bad homophobic person. I'm being told Trump is hateful and, you know, he hates the gays, he hates the gays. He was the first president to support gay marriage coming into office. He has gay weddings at his house. He has gay people working under him. He appoints gay people to office. It's like, he's a horrible homophobic person. It's like we talked about in the Black video with Trump. He's a horrible racist person to be doing and promoting and pushing all these gay people into prominent positions or to just doing things for gay people. But again, because this LGBTQ community, this damn Skittle Squad, LGHDTV, Rainbow Mafia is so damn big, it's like you have the list of all the letters, and if somebody's coming against, you know, the Q's or the T's, you label it under everybody, and then you say he's against the LGBTQ community, when in reality he's against a specific thing that most gay people are also against. Let's keep it real here. So that's what's frustrating about this all. And it's just sad to see, you know, the media kind of winning in this effort. This sheer amount of people on the left that really think and sit here and agree that Trump is just hateful and is bigoted towards gay people. Meanwhile, he's having gay people have weddings at his house. Make it make sense.
The Democrats are actually advocating to teach about sexuality and crazy gender theory to 7-year-old children. And on the other hand, they get offended if we throw around terms like groomer to push back against it.
If you don't, let me get these books, because if you don't believe this is actually, hi Oliver, this is actually the thing that's going on. I have another video about this and I'll link it below, but I actually bought all the books that they've been banning in schools, you know, the whole book bans and everything that they've been saying is not happening, and it actually is happening. I'm not going to open it now because in the other video it is, you know, demonetized because there's very profane things in these books, which is very funny that these are children's books that you can find or used to in some school libraries, but they're too profane for YouTube. They're not advertiser friendly. And then you have these parents, these concerned parents, because in these books, they're teaching people how to perform certain acts on themselves and other people. There's illustrations on how to use certain things and different toys. I'm not even kidding. When you have parents go up there at these school board meetings and they're all upset and, you know, the gay community, because it's the rainbows, this book is gay. It's all rainbow, it's all gay stuff. So when JD Vance says, oh, they're trying to teach these 7-year-olds things, he's actually not lying. It's in the actual books, and I've seen it for myself, and I've shown it in the other video, you know, and that's why they're calling these people groomers, because it's like, what other term is there for it? I mean, there's a boy, and it's little dresses, and this whole book talks about, like, making sure your kid is non-binary. I can go on, but there's some truth to what JD's saying. They constantly say, oh, they're trying to do slurs against drag queens and the LGBTQ community. No, parents don't want drag queens, glorified strippers. Let's just be real here. Where can you find a drag queen? A gay club, where you have to be of age. And then what are you doing when they're on stage? You're giving them wands. Because also, what are they doing? They're dipping, they're twerking, they're revealing clothing. I go to drag shows. It's not hateful, it's not bigoted. That is exactly what they do, and that isn't okay for children. That's not okay to take that job, take that person, same outfit, same clothing, same dancing, and put it in front of first graders and second graders and think it's okay. And for someone to say that it's wrong, they're not hateful or bigoted. They're not. See, this is why so many gays are just going right to the left, right to the right, and supporting Trump, because they don't align themselves with the left. I don't align myself with wanting to and aspiring to allow drag queens to read and dance in front of children. I don't want that. And I'm not a hateful. I don't suffer from internalized homophobia for not wanting that, you know? That's why I align more with the people that are saying, hey, we should put a ban to that. We should kind of stop that. Do what you want in 18 plus areas. Do what you want 18 plus regardless. But leave these damn children alone. And we've noticed and we've seen throughout my content, when you start mandating other people and their actions on how to treat you, and then you start going after people's children, that's when people are upset.
In April 2022, while referencing bills aimed at censoring classroom discussion of sexual orientation and gender identity, he wrote, "I'll stop calling people groomers when they stop freaking out about bills that prevent the sexualization of my children."
You say Donald Trump is the most pro-LGBTQ plus president in history, and I say you're a liar. January 2017, his election day, he scrubbed all mention of LGBTQ plus people from the White House website.
All right, let's go through that. Did Trump actually scrub everything from the White House? Moments after Donald Trump became president of the White House, LGBTQ pages disappear. Yes, that is true. But if we look at the way back machine, what we'll see on that page is that it was just a splash page of everything that Obama has done for the gays. At this point, Trump has done nothing for gays. He should have put that video of him saying that he supports gay marriage, but he just got rid of the page entirely, which, I mean, I'm not really mad at. What is he gonna have on a page? At that, gay people are included in citizenship in the United States. Like, we were at that point, we were already good. So it's like, what do you want him to do or say? I'm not really mad at that one at all.
But that was only the beginning. That same year, he rolled back protections for LGBTQ plus students in school.
Okay, he rolled back protections for LGBT people in schools. What did he actually do? Trump just made it official. Transgender students no longer have an ally in the White House. On Wednesday, it sent out a letter officially revoking Obama-era guidance protecting trans students in federally funded public schools. Cool. So he didn't want a 13-year-old boy to say, oh, I'm a girl now, and then go in the girl's bathroom. He didn't want that to be a thing. Has nothing to do with gay people. Like I was mentioning before, there's a lot of policies like, oh, the LGBTQ community, when it has to deal with trans stuff. It has nothing to do with sexual orientation. It's everything to do with gender identity. And personally, I agree. I don't think it's okay for a little boy to just say, oh, I'm a girl now, and then walk in the girl's restroom. Let's see what else this girl has to say.
In 2019, he opposed the Equality Act.
Okay, in 2019, he opposed the Equality Act. Let's look at the Equality Act, congress.gov. Equality Act, let's read. This committee on the judiciary to whom was referred in the bill to prohibit discrimination on the basis of sex, gender identity. Boom, right there, we're already done. Can I highlight this? Gender identity. We already know this is a major issue in the United States because people are able to just swap back and forth and be whatever they want to be. That's a choice. This Equality Act protects things that people have no choice in. I can't control if I'm a male or a female. You know, my race, I can't control my race. But to sit here and say, oh, anybody can be a man, anybody can be a woman, it's fluid, it doesn't matter, that actually does a disservice to actual biological women out there. As we've seen when it comes to sports, when it comes to restrooms, when it comes to women in jail getting pregnant, because they're allowing men to just say, I'm a woman, and then get sent to the women's ward. This is clown world, y'all. Like, none of this makes sense. Again, another example has nothing to do with gay people. Let's move on to the next example that she has.
2020, he rolled back healthcare protections for transgender people.
Oh, he rolled back protections for trans people. What exactly did he roll back? Transgender health protections reversed by Trump administration. It is one of the many rules and regulations put forward by the Trump administration that defines sex discrimination as only applying when someone faces discrimination for being male or female and does not protect people from discrimination based on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity. Again, now that is interesting how it does say sexual orientation or gender identity. Probably again, which I can't even be that mad at because it's so lumped in together. But at a hospital, there should be male and female biology. You can't go to a hospital and get mad that you're a biological man looking to get medical help and someone's doesn't want to refer to you as a she because you're saying that you're a she. This is stupid, you guys. This is derangement. Again, has nothing to do with me. It does say sexual orientation, but at the end of the day, this really just mainly applies to the discrimination between like male and female. And I'm a male, I have a penis. It is what it is. Every trans person is a trans person. They're still biologically whatever they were born. No one can switch sexes. And when you're in a hospital, you're trying to get medical help, and there's medical differences between male and females. So literally everything that this woman was talking about in this video, we just debunked right here and there.
Listen, the list goes on and searched. I scraped the bottom of the barrel to find anything that shows Trump supports the LGBTQ plus community. Here's what I found. Put together an initiative to decriminalize homosexuality, and he appointed a handful of LGBTQ plus judges. In other words, that's the bare minimum.
I think that's not the bare minimum. I think that's actually really good, knowing that in America, I can walk down the street and be a little pretty princess gay person, bundle of sticks, and be perfectly fine and okay. But if I'm that same person, who I am right now in another country, a couple of different countries on this planet, I'd be stoned to death or pushed off a building. And he wants to get rid of that. So no, I don't think that's the bare minimum. That actually takes a lot of balls from a Republican Christian president to say, yes, we need to actually protect the gays across the world. I'll take it, especially knowing that in this country, I can be and exist how I am. These people, you guys, it doesn't add up. They want to hate Trump so bad, but I don't see why I should. I'm seeing every reason as to why I disagree with the left. You can't define something and you can't stand for something when there's no weight to whatever you're trying to defend. When you're saying men can be women and women can be men, while also at the same time saying we support women's rights, that holds no value, because you can't even define what a woman is. You can't even define gender identity, because anybody can be whatever, like non-binary, anybody can be whatever you want. How can you stand behind something, define it, and really harp for it when it's so loose? There's no grounding to it. You can't even defend the things that you're saying. And that's the sad part. And again, as we've seen throughout this video, including myself, there's gay people who are just sick of it. Because when it comes to the right, a lot of the times, all the things that they're trying to put forward and put bans on is the TQ plus. And as of late, we've seen some little inklings of the LGBT included in that, mainly because the left, majority of the gays, are really harping on, we're a community, we're all together. Well, then they're gonna kick us all out. They're gonna get rid of all of us. And I want protections for trans people too. As an adult, do what you want to do, but it's hard to even defend them when they're going so hard on the kids. It's sad and it's frustrating.
Now we can all realize how good we had it when Donald J. Trump was president. When gas was like $2 a gallon here in Ohio instead of, $5. It just hit. When we could actually afford to pay for things and have a life, and we were excited, and there's a booming economy, and everything was going well, and everyone was freaking out like, oh my gosh, did you see what he tweeted? Did you see Kellyanne Conway put her shoes on the couch in the White House? Like, talk about first world problems we had under Donald Trump, right? And now here we are with Dum Dum. And no one can afford to pay gas. No one can afford to pay rent. No one can afford to pay anything. The economy's on the brink of collapse. We're about to slip into a recession. Everything is going to shit. And half of you still can't say those magical little words, I was wrong. You know what? It's okay to be wrong. It's okay. Just acknowledge life was way better when Trump was president.
And that's the sad part, is this whole vote blue no matter who crowd, and oh, I'm gay, I'm supposed to be a Democrat, and yes, we need a black woman as president. Are you not paying attention to how your life is right now? Are you not paying attention to how things were the last 4 years? I'd have much more respect for people if it was a different Democrat running. If it was someone else running on the Democrat ticket, I'd be fine with it. It'd be like, it's an actual debate, maybe you do actually want change because it's a different person. Maybe not the whole party's different, but at least you have a different person leading it. I can get behind that, but it's literally the same person. The Kamala's office is 10 steps away from the Oval Office. So like, you can't sit here and complain about how things are and this thing is bad in this country. We need to fix this. We need to fix it. We need to fix this, but then vote for the same person right in charge right now to keep it going. That's delusional. As a gay man in 2024, as a gay man that was under Trump's presidency, hello, I was fine. Personally, as a more moderate, center-right gay man, there's nothing that Harris Walz is fighting for the LGBTQ community that, as someone who is gay, aligns with. I actually align myself more with the things that Trump is doing and putting in place, especially regarding the economy, border security, reducing inflation, when it comes to taxes, when it comes to tariffs. There's so much more that I actually do appreciate that President Trump does and puts into place. Maybe I do need to just put out a video on just why, personally, I'm not voting for Harris. Let me know in the comments below if you want something like that, because I can't do it. And as we've gone through this video, there's a lot of gay people who are waking up. They feel like they can't either. And it's okay. We shouldn't be judged. We shouldn't be scared. We shouldn't be harmed for just wanting to express our opinion and wanting to vote for the first president that accepted gay marriage and that has gay weddings at his house. It makes no sense. I just don't understand this whole phrase of a vote for Trump is a vote against gay people. No, it's very clear that a vote for Trump, it is against the TQ plus community. But even then, it wouldn't be if the TQ plus community just left the kids alone. If the TQ plus community left the kids alone, stop trying to mandate laws and mandate how you refer to them as, and actually brought in common sense everything would be fine. A lot of the things that have to do with the LGBTQ community, as we've gone through this video, is all the TQ plus. It has nothing to do with the LGB. So selfishly, the LGBs are good, and the TQ pluses would be good if they just left the kids alone, left women alone, and just acted like just regular human beings. But it's sad that, you know, as we're finding out, there's a lot of them that don't know how to do that. So that's why there is a lot of gay people that are not voting for Kamala and they're voting for Trump. They're letting their voices be heard, they're letting their voices be known, and I'm not even mad at it.
What will happen to trans rights if Donald Trump wins the presidential election? The former president's re-election website features a section called Agenda 47, which has dozens of videos outlining his policies for if he returns to office. In one video, titled President Trump's Plan to Protect Children from Left-Wing Gender Insanity, Trump makes clear his plans for trans rights.
On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly.
Trump also pledges to sign a new executive order to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. For any hospital or healthcare provider delivering gender-affirming care to trans youth, Trump will make sure they no longer meet the federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare.
Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children.
In terms of education, President Trump will introduce severe consequences for any teacher or school that suggests a child could be experiencing gender dysphoria.
We will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique.
Finally, if Trump wins the presidential election in November, he will ask Congress to pass 3 bills that establish that. 1. The only genders recognized by the U.S. government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. 2. Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports. In other words, banning all trans women from competing. 3. Parents must give consent in order for their child to change their gender identity.
No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
I want y'all to listen up. I'm a little ticked off. I just want you to know I'm a little ticked off, and I'm gonna tell you why. $750. Oh my. Where American tax dollars is being used to fund illegal aliens into our country. And these illegal aliens didn't pay one dime or one red cent into our systems. And all Kamala Harris and Tampon Timmy want to give us $750? Listen, you all, we only have one choice. One choice, and that's President Donald J. Trump. We cannot afford another 4 years of this, so you're going to have to vote like your life depends on it. Like when you're taking your breath and it's your last breath and you need that vote in order to breathe, that's what you're going to have to do. So you're going to have to, I'm almost finished, Mr. President. So what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to overvote the cheat. You're going to have to outrun the runway. And we're going to have to make it too big to rig. Woo! Now I can feel Diamond rising up in me. Because you have to vote right so you won't get left again. Vote red. R-E-D. Remove every Democrat. They gotta go. They gotta go. Now on. While the media continue to play the race card, we gonna continue to play the Trump card so